14-year-old boy, totally addicted to gadgets, not willing to step out of his room, eating only junk food, no interest in studies. Parents were obviously worried. Then they reanalyzed the entire situation. Was it only gadget addiction? What they came to realize, this young boy was in habit of doing. When this young boy would go out to play with his friends, obviously friends would make fun of him. What he decides that he would stay inside his house. Now parents, they would obviously want the boy to go out, play and socialize. What does the boy does? He withdraws to his room. And what is there the best thing? The gadgets, the gadget addiction. Is there something more to gadget addiction? Yes, there are basically two forces that are acting there. One is pull and another is push. What is it? I'll come to it little later once again. For the time being, let me move to my second story. This young boy, 18-year-old, he got through to National Defense Academy, and at the age of 22 years, he had the honor of wearing the uniform and serving the country. And that is my story. Decent money, dream job, actually what I was looking for, everything perfect, or as it seemed to everyone around. But for me, life took an ugly turn. I became very pessimistic and negative in my life, so much so that I could pick a fight with people at the drop of a hat. Negativity was so much that it started manifesting itself in the form of diseases in my body. At the age of 27 years, I lost my wisdom. Wisdom teeth. Wisdom I never had, so there was no question of losing that. So, 4 filling, 1 root canal treatment. And I picked a few diseases. Couple of them doctors told me they were incurable. And that is where this journey started. When I realized that there is something more that has to be done about it. And in the next few years, I read more than 500 books on child psychology, mind, subconscious mind, how does it work? And what I realized that whosoever you are today, doesn't matter what your age is. It is because of your childhood. Your childhood is your foundation. And that is when I decided to revisit my childhood. And what did I saw? Deep down in the foundation, there were a lot of pus which had got accumulated. And it was not that there was, something seriously wrong with my childhood, no. Decent, I had basic amenities. My parents were caring, sibling, everything. But those few experiences which you gather, which you accumulate, it had led to this. And I recollected filling buckets with that pus and throwing it out. And the journey went on only and only for next 17 years of my life. And I today stand here in front of you, a very positive and optimistic person. Not only that, I also cured myself of all the diseases which doctors once told me they were incurable. And there are quite a few things which I learned about children and parents. We all say children don't listen. And my experience, year 2019 when I was conducting this session, children from the age of 8 years with parents to the age of 55 years. And these sessions used to be long for 5 to 6 hours. The children were there throughout. Parents, obviously they play a very important role in shaping our personality. Their intentions are very good and they are driven by primarily 2 factors. Love and concern for the children and their well-being, their future. Yes, absolutely not. Almost every parent is driven by 2 factors. Number 1, pain of the past and fear of the future. And if these are the 2 factors which are driving us as parents, what kind of energy that we are carrying for our kids? Our children are like plants. Their roots need that sunlight, nutrients. That is what they need. One thing which is causing maximum harm to our children today, gadget addiction. Your anxiety is your child's biggest enemy. It is something like you are pouring acids into the root of this tree, the young plant, which is damaging the tree completely. Now when we are looking at all these problems, whatever maybe it is, gadget addiction, behavior, child not interested in studies, whatever you may talk about, if you have to compare them with a part of a tree, which part you think they are? They are nothing but the fruits of the tree. Now if you look at all these fruits which are there, don't you think they are interconnected? But how many of us are trying to address them in isolation? Gadget addiction, don't overdo it. Aggression, calm down, it's not good for you. Take interest in studies. Do you think you will be able to address them like that? No, and that's why we are failing in this. They cannot be addressed in isolation. What you also need to realize that none of these problems, including gadget addiction, will be there in isolation. It cannot happen. And when all these fruits which are there, they are unhealthy, what does that mean? Only one thing. The roots are unhealthy. So what do you need to do? Need to work on the roots. When you work on the roots, roots become healthy. Which fruit is going to be healthy? All the fruits, no exception. Have you heard of children who are good in academics? And they will pick up any sport, any activity pretty fast. Their confidence is high, the communication skill is good, they are respectful. What happened there? Somebody realized the importance of the roots, and hence the fruits are healthy. There is no exception. How many of us wish that I were a child again? Yes. How many of you do that? Yeah. After today, you are not going to wish it ever. Why do I say that? This young child who is at home, what is happening there? Parents fighting with each other, scolding the children for their behavior, the sibling who are fighting. There is a comparison taking place. No, we never compare. Every house, every class, every school, this is what's happening. What's happening to this child? Many parents come and say, my child focus is bad. What do you think? How this child's focus is going to be good or bad? What about the behavior? What about other issues? What is going to happen to that? Have you heard of young children, 4, 5-year-old, not able to speak properly? Does this play a part when there is nothing medically wrong with these children? Yes, obviously. What about there are so many cases you will hear? Children, slow learner, learning disabled, ADHDs. What is it? Is this pressure play a role there? The answer to that is obviously yes, it does. Now, let's go back to where we started, gadget addiction. There are two forces which are acting there. One, which is the pull, and the push. The pull, which is there, the gaming industry, the technology industry. What do they want? They want your child to be addicted to gadgets. Yes? That is the pull which is acting. And the push, this picture explains that. Nicely it does explain that. What is that? Talk about. That is the push. Now this child who is there amidst all this, what is this child thinking? There is a pressure from the parents, right? When this child is going to school, what's happening there? The teacher who might be an expert in her subject, is she an expert in managing these 30 to 40 children? No. How is she managing the children? You don't behave in class, you don't pay attention, you're not behaving, you're not doing this right. And then she will call you, the parent, your child is not behaving, why don't you teach him something good? And then you will pass on the same pressure to your child. And this young child, when he will go out to play with friends, what is happening there? The peer pressure. You guys might have forgotten your childhood, but I remember. Why? Because I had to revisit my childhood number of times. And I remember the pressure is immense. Children outside, you are a crybaby. You can never be successful in your life. You can never do anything good. The peer pressure is immense. What this child is going through, what is he thinking? I am good for nothing. I am a bad child. Nobody loves me. Have you heard your child coming and saying, you don't love me? And you wonder why. Yes, have you heard your children coming and saying this to you? Why? This pressure. This is the push which is acting on the children as grown up. When we feel that pressure, when we are not able to bear it, isn't it that we want to run away from that situation? Yes, it happens with us. What about this child? The easy escape is the gadgets. That's where he gets that relief from all this. The push and the pull. Now these are two forces. Out of these two, which is the bigger force? We all say it is the pull, the gadgets. No, it is the push. That is much bigger than the pull. Now the good part about all this is, you know what? Children are like plant, they are responding to the environment, and there are a number of factors which are playing their part. And out of all these factors, there is one factor which is the most important. You, the parent. You have the power to create your child destiny. You are the one writing your child destiny. Ask yourself, how are you writing that? That's what you need to ask yourself. 13-year-old girl, she was not willing to step out of her house, going through depression, taking antidepressants. Parents were worried. The mother changed her energy. Yes, parenting is the game of energy. We all have tried positive parenting, right? But it doesn't work. It is positive energy parenting. What kind of energy you are giving to your children? That is the key. In this case, the mother changed her energy, and 1 month, if you can read on the view file, this girl was not willing to step out of her home July end. And on 31st of August, she was climbing trees, riding bicycles, going out with the parents and having lots of fun. I used to think that this is primarily applicable to the children till the age of 18 to 20 years max. This 24-year-old young boy, man, whatever you may call him, gadget addiction, very aggressive, no interest in whatsoever in pursuing any career. Obviously, parents were worried. Mother changed her energy. 1 month, this young man's addiction and aggression came down by 70 to 80%. 3 months, this boy has got an offer from Amazon for internship. The 6-year-old girl could not walk. Doctor said you would never walk. 9 years, she barely started walking with the help of braces. 12 years, she started running a bit. At the age of 20 years, she won 3 gold medals in Olympics, 1960. My doctor said you would never walk. My mother told me you would. I believed my mother. Wilma Rudolph, a girl who could not walk at the age of 6 years, became the fastest woman on the earth. Why? Because the mother believed in her. It was her energy. If you think your child can, you are right. If you think your child can, you are right. If you think your child can't, you are still right. Thank you.